What is up? My God, what a day in the markets. Welcome to the show, one and all. It's a great day to be alive. Our bags are pumping. I'm from the home office today, so you might endure some chaos today, but we are looking at some great levels. How are you feeling, Isaac, on this beautiful day?
It's a bullish day. Your bags are up, especially if you're a big holder of Aerodrome. Congratulations, you're up 17% on the day. And if you know, we've been talking about bounce, but here and there, it's a DeFi play, DeFi slash RWA kind
Yep.
of play. It's up 22% today, so we're very bullish today. We're feeling good. Bags are up. It's nice outside. Go touch some grass today.
That's right.
Hit the charts.
I
Do
loved
it
this
all.
comment. And shout out to the chat here. Papa Poon. When
Up a
Isaac
boon.
leaves for Army, there's going to be a lot of sad, sassy girls in Atlanta. Man, what a
That's
day!
true.
So how
What a
how
day.
how long until you deploy?
I think
Or you
it's
got
what 77 days now.
well, not
November
deploy, but
4th.
yeah. Okay. Looking forward to it, man. It's been a great. You're an absolute asset here. So big shout out to you. Now today
Over.
we got some good stuff going on, Isaac. Okay,
We
so
do.
we're looking at Bitcoin's $120,000 resistance. Right now, it does look like Bitcoin is angled and going after $120,000. We're also going to be looking at general market direction, kind of explain why I feel like we're going this given direction improvably. There are many factors going in and going on at the Federal Reserve and the Treasury that are pushing us this way, and an ETH signal that is about to send altcoins, in my opinion, into a parabolic t- tailwind to the upside. I'm talking crazy things coming. Let me check out my boy here real quick, though. What you got? What you got, buddy? Oh, he needs a little help. Let's see here. I don't know your code here, buddy. I don't know your
Seems
code.
like you're having fun. Always busy. This is
Yeah.
the life of Drew, right and unfolding in front of your eyes. So
No, it's
yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. Bronny, just set her up with a Disney show. Could you please do that? Yeah, Isaac, you take over for a second. I gotta
All
I
right.
gotta handle this. I gotta handle this, and before there's
All
riots,
right.
so I'll set you up here.
Give me a second. I gotta get my screen going. All right, we're just gonna take a look at where Bitcoin's at because obviously, what kind of show would we have if we didn't look at Bitcoin first? You know what I'm saying? Where is it? There we go. We're gonna go share this window. Bam. Sorry for the difficulties. Let's see if I can resize so you can see a little better. Oh, wrong way. All right, there we go. We're gonna zoom this sucker in where we're sitting now. 116, 300. I know I was talking to Drew right before the show. He said that we were trying to. Let's go pull up this liquidity chart as well. Coin glass liquidation heat map. We were looking at 115.5 around that little region to get a little liquidity sweep. Possible trades in here, yeah, 115.3, kind of in general area. We're gonna back it out to the 48 hour because we're on the 24-hour right now. Yeah, 115.3 all the way up to 115.5 is kind of where we're looking at for trades right now. Let's look at a little closer. 115.4. We got pretty balanced levels of liquidity to the upside and the downside. Going back over to the charts here, I'm still sidelined, unfortunately, from my last liquidation of my entire bag, but that's okay. We have, it does look like it wants to continue taking up. We might break down a little more. Um, but overall, general bullish structure. And let's see, I have no stories up, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure something out here. We're gonna go over to X and not Raw Dog X, but we're gonna get some things going. Actually, I'm gonna pull this down for a second. I'm just gonna chit chat. I just want to know, how is everybody feeling in the chat today? I'm gonna just ask some questions here for the chat, and we're just gonna sit here and talk through it while I get these stories up for everybody. So stop eating carbs for your face. You're right, Raymond. You are 100% right. I do like my carbs though. I like my sodium. I eat a bunch of. Steve Taylor is feeling bearish. Why are you feeling bearish? I want to know. Please do enlighten me.
I'm back. All right.
Oh,
You
you're
might hear
back.
some chaos.
All
Yeah.
right.
You might hear
Yes.
some chaos going on in the background. It is what it is. I'm making do,
I was trying
family
to get
got
these
sick.
stories up and just
Oh,
not gonna do
well,
it.
I got them all lined up here. Let's just run right
Yeah.
into it here. Now, if you guys aren't already, please do go give me a follow here at Druth Crypto. Really, the story is in price action, where things are actually headed in terms of alt season, Ethereum ready to break very, very key levels. Now, as you can see, Bitcoin 116.3. Right now, I do have some targets that we set up in the Discord this morning with all of our trading groups. We are very, very close to that. And directionally, I feel like it's been pretty obvious yesterday that Ethereum had some juice left in the tank. It really missed out on the pump yesterday. And so what we saw this morning was a break above some levels that we really needed to see happen, right about $3,900. And then Ethereum went on. It peaked at about 40 or 4,020, right around 4,011 here on TradingView for Coin Market Cap. And this is signaling something very, very important to me. Now, I do think what's going on in the larger scheme of things, very, very bullish for, this entire, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the paradigm that we had in 4-year cycles and the paradigm we had in general liquidity, I think remains the same, but 4-year cycles are getting a little weird. So we're going to take a look at what that really means right now as we're going through the show. Do keep me abreast if we do see a further breakdown. We came right near, and look at this. This is on me. I was outside doing some work, but generally feel like that 115.8 to 115.6 zone looks pretty juicy. There's a large washout of liquidity that could happen at 115.5. And the reason why I feel
15.3, by the way.
There's a new one
For the liquidity watch. I was looking at
let's
the
watch.
48
Let's
hour.
go look at that. Yeah, let's go look at that. I want to go look at that because these are from earlier, just about an hour ago, and these things do move pretty quickly. Let's go check it out. So the 12-hour. All right. So yeah, this is kind of the zone I'm hoping to get. You're right. There has been a little bit of a shift, a little bit lower kind of cast target right now. Bitcoin seemingly a little attracted to this lower band for the time being, so I'm being careful in terms of what I'm looking for. Man, oh man, did we print it on that 15-minute. I was outside. I missed it. This is that 15-minute green dot. So you know what? Trading the recipe works. At least I know the recipe works over and over again. But I am watching out. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't. I got to protect that money quickly. Michael Saylor came out in his conversation today for Michael Saylor was in relevance to the tariffs that the United States has announced on gold and how Bitcoin lives in cyberspace. This is Michael Saylor talking on Bloomberg earlier today.
The Trump administration ruling that gold bars will be subject to tariffs as well, these reciprocal tariffs. So imports of gold will be tariffed. And that's really sending shockwaves through the gold ecosystem. Gold and Bitcoin are also often compared to one another. Bitcoin called digital gold, for example. I wonder if you think this has any ripple effects, positive or negative, for Bitcoin.
It does. Bitcoin is digital gold. It's going to accelerate the migration of capital from physical gold to digital gold. Bitcoin lives in cyberspace. No tariffs in cyberspace.
Have the Trump administration.
He's talking about this. So he's talking about a tariff that Trump announced. Fed suggested that the gold revaluation proceeds could fund this strategic Bitcoin reserve. We covered this yesterday. Then Trump came out and slapped a massive tariff on 1 kilogram gold bars that are from Switzerland. 70% of these are refined in Switzerland. And this is the question that comes out of this. Is he engineering a gold squeeze to fund a budget neutral strategic Bitcoin reserve? Interesting thought there. Sailor's voice. Oh, it's digital gold. He does have a nasally. Yeah, he has a nasally.
He talks with his teeth together.
Yeah.
He doesn't move his mouth much. He's like his teeth stuck like this, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Bitcoin is digital gold. You can't tariff it." So he talks.
Michael Saylor's concentration in Bitcoin. It's started a treasury run for corporate treasuries. Obviously, it's a good thing on one hand. Funds have bought 371,000 Bitcoin year to date. This is 7.5 times more than miners produce over the same period. So we are really outpacing production of Bitcoin with the buys, and this is facing a lot of pressure, initially from the corporate treasury side. The whole big kit and caboodle is a potential transfer of an existing treasury, which we were just talking about with the gold treasury, transitioning some of that value into Bitcoin. And gold is a $22 trillion market cap. It is not a small asset class. It really makes you wonder, how high we actually could go here, man, because this is setting up the kind of super cycle fever dream up only is Max Payne type scenario that I talk about a lot. And really the treasuries are kind of kickstarting this fire. So about a third of 1,000,000 coins in 1 year bought from Wall Street tells me we got a lot higher to go. And shits, this US convenience store shits is
holy shit.
You are banned.
What happened there?
Nick
Jesus.
Dunn got banned.
Hold on. Let's see
Nick
here.
Dunn got banned. I'm
God
sorry.
damn.
I had to do it.
All right.
Holy shit.
Sheets is offering a 50% off deal when people pay with crypto. They know Bitcoin's going higher. They're trying to give you a half off deal to get that Bitcoin out of your hands. Don't do it. Give them dirty fiat. Shit. Speaking of shit, Bitcoin's facing 120K resistance just like this. Let's take a look at the charts, see what to expect in this time frame here. So now Bitcoin, this is from Rendoshi, a great account if you don't. He does Ondo deep dives. He's pretty good account. Bitcoin now back at ranges it broke down from, now retesting it as resistance. He's highlighting. He's looking at this same range, and I didn't even know it, but shout out to you. Looking at the right stuff. And what he just shows here on this is the breakdown to previous local high, tested as resistance, bounce back up. We are in that zone. The next level down to watch out for if we lose right here is about $108,000, which we're not out of the woodwork yet of potentially seeing. But as things sit right now, Bitcoin is trying to pump through what is a sell block to me. I mean, this is a sell block right here at this 116.1 to 116.9. It's gotten trapped in each one of these sell blocks. I organize and understand where the sell blocks are manually, and then I wake up today and Bitcoin is trapped within that exact same block that I built, which is very, very interesting to me. And it's honestly quite healthy to see price being able to coil in this range right now. Let's go check out the money flow, the movement on the daily, because I cover all the news, but I like TA too. I like trading. I like making tether. I like printing tether. If the Fed can do it, I can do it too. The daily still riding to the upside from that green daily dot that printed just a few days ago off of that great long entry that we had. God, had a few long entries, 12 and then 113.6 so far on this. And now what I want to see is a little bit of chop, a little bit of support built on the daily and even the 4 hour, I think is going to matter in this situation. 4 hour has to have a little bit of a breath, and this is what you're seeing. 4 hours having a little bit of breath, but Ethereum is a whole different story, and I'm pretty excited to get into Ethereum charts here in a minute. So I want to fling through all the rest of this stuff that we got to cover here. We already covered the gold tariffs, potential transfer of that value into Bitcoin, but the real nasty thing going on in the background for the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury is this. This is the remittances due to the U.S. Treasury now going hardcore negative, 240 in the millions. So 240, I think is like in the billions actually. But really what this is talking about here, it's quite a convoluted subject matter, but the chart showing the Federal Reserve's remittances in the U.S. Treasury turning deeply negative, reaching that 240 billion. Yeah. By 2025, it implies a massive Fed operating loss, driving the pay on high interest rates on reserves while holding low yield bonds from a quantitative easing era. We spent a long time within the 2000s, 2010 zone with 0% interest rates. And what we see right now is consequences of it. No profits to the Treasury because of those low interest yields, and an inflating federal deficit, potential erosion of the federal independence, and signaling costly unwinding of past easy money policies, risking economic instability if prolonged. And this is where we are. Now we face Social Security trust funds expected to run out of their cash in 8 years, right? These are where those kind of longer term, boring, I don't like macroeconomic data, neck breathers, mouth breathers come out of the woodwork and talk about. But the pushback Trump's been able to create is the tariffs are having that good impact on the economy. The stock market is ripping from it. Here's Trump took to Truth Social, basically just to, dance on his hill, which rightfully so. I mean, tariffs, they were very, very painful, kind of shock and awe for the market. Now, people are starting to realize that, yes, they're bringing in some money into a system that really is finding intrinsic breaking points. There is a moment right now within the Treasury, within the Federal Reserve, where they have to pull some new monetary levers to keep this system running. And Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury of the U.S., is talking exactly about that in his latest conversation. I believe this was, I'm not exactly sure if this is CNBC or CNN, but here's Scott Bessent.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets.
Boom. The proof is in the pudding. They're literally telling us what they want to do. They're literally telling us not just what they want to do, but what they're going to do. I repeat this. Scott Bessent is a currency general. He was able to take down the UK dollar basically by noticing the weakness within the real estate industry in the United Kingdom. At the time, he worked directly under Jorge Oros. Can't really say the name. I don't want to get this channel demonetized, but he's a very well-connected, practiced currency general that's now involved with the New Deal, this new America that Trump is trying to put together. And it's all being built in the background. It's all being built in the background. People are more focused on the political, left versus right kind of conversation. This transfer of wealth is going to go right over the heads of 99% of the people in America. I feel that way. Like, yes, you're going to have good inflows into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins from people that are savvy investors. But for the average person, they're just concentrated on left versus right propaganda. Now, I want to ask you this, Isaac. We've been waiting in the background for Grand Theft Auto for like a very long time. What comes first, man?
Everything.
Everything
comes first.
So they're talking about there's a bet you can take on Polymarket where you could bet against GTA or GPT-6. And really, I would wager that
GPT-4 right now, right?
Yeah. Well, and the bets for GPT-6, they might be in development with GPT-5, but this is AI development versus software and gaming developers. I think this is easy money. I mean, what do you think, man?
Easy money, GPT-6.
You think so?
GPT-6 all day, every day.
Okay.
I'll put my entire crypto portfolio on it. Come on.
Yeah, let's see what the chat thinks here. That's
question.
True. That is true. There is no such thing as a UK dollar. What do they call it? They call it like the pound, right?
Yeah.
They call it the pound. GPT-5 outs already. They just released 5. GTA 6 or Bitcoin 200K? Ooh, that's a good question.
I think 200K first.
You think 200K first?
200K first, because they're not even trying to release GTA 6 till next year now.
Okay.
So that's how much I'm gonna look up right now.
It's pretty fun that we can put in bets and like make money off of this stuff, right? Or lose money if we're wrong. Pretty fun to gamify this conversation. Now,
real quick. The current release date for GTA 6 is May 26th. My brother's birthday, by the way, next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and do some looking at
before that.
So because it looks like they just released 5 for GPT. So see if there's any expectations on that. I want to see that. And while you're doing that, Isaac, we were talking before we went live on the show. things are looking good for altcoins, right?
That's true.
Aerodrome is the biggest gainer in my portfolio. Aerodrome's about to hit $1, but honestly, there's so much more room to go. Isaac, why did you decide to kind of shift into Aerodrome? Because there's some, discourse.
Well,
Is Solana better than Base? Like, what kind of got you into it?
well, one, even though I do nothing, you already with the DeFi and the staking and all that, there's like such a high incentive not only for that, but for in Base just to stake and have your projects making money for itself. And I just when I bought Aerodrome, it was like when I first started getting into crypto, and that's when it was like low, what 40 cents. It was
Yep.
like
It was about
pretty
40,
low. It
30
was it was a
cents.
great buy, so I just started
Mhm.
stacking. And then there's just so much hype around it, and especially with this whole thing with your prediction saying that with like a whole base capturing Ethereum and the whole DEX thing that they now have coming out, it just gave more incentive to pour into base tokens,
Yeah.
especially Aerodrome, which is the most talked about, most hyped up project
Well,
out
and
there.
it's like I've kind of leaned away. I need to lean back into Solana. I feel like Crypto Steve is reading my mind here. It's like I see potential for both, and really Aerodrome, seeing the wrapped Bitcoin through Coinbase, knowing institutions are going to utilize and want to take part in altcoins, and now something beyond my wildest dreams is going down, and it's true for Aerodrome. It's being rolled out as a DEX, trading within the United States, excluding those dirty New Yorkers,
Yeah,
for their
facts.
their goal to make Coinbase the simplest way to access on-chain markets. They're integrating a literal decentralized exchange inside of the Coinbase app. You'll be able to trade millions of base assets directly within that app. And this is why, decentralized exchanges, DEXs, have been a focus. And TJ wrote it up really nice. This is why we've been bullish on Aerodrome, Radium, Jupiter, Black, which is the AVAX ecosystem play for this same realm for quite some time. And it's been something that we've been, even when it's boring and the prices aren't really high, we're about it. On-chain trading is the future. And the reason why this matters is because major bag holders within the US, they have regulatory clarity to utilize Coinbase and things that are built on Coinbase. So when I see a project that has, kind of like a preferential treatment, the in-crowd movements within the Coinbase ecosystem, I take a shot at it. And that shot has turned into something really, really big. Pretty nice to see Aerodrome at $1. I do need to check in on the charts for Radium, Jupiter, Black, and another one that's on my mind here, Marinade. And those kind of DeFi plays on Solana. So we're feeling some good movements here right now. Smash the like button, hit the one in the chat if you're happy with how your portfolio looks. We are looking gorgeous. Aerodrome is up 26% right now. Chainlink coming up on $20. And we have a crazy price prediction about Chainlink we're going to take a look at. They're calling out for $88 Chainlink. Things are about to get hot on altcoins, though, and here's why. Here's why. A big, big reason. Not just the ETFs, not just the staking. We have the 4-hour MACD rolling to the upside on Ethereum as we're attempting this break. And as you can see, it's highlighted it many, many different times. Each time we have tried to break these moments, we have not been in a red to green flow for the MACD. This is very, I guess you could say it's hardcore technical analysis, but really it's something pretty obvious to see. The 4-hour usually is able to drive those breakout moments. And right now we are sitting very, very well positioned on Ethereum. Let's go check out Ethereum actually on the charts here and go to the 4-hour just so I can show you what I'm talking about. I use the MACD often on the 4-hour time frame. And yes, stochastic is pretty high, but it's trying to clip again to the upside. Now the 4-hour MACD, as things sit, we've gotten that juice from it. And now we're seeing if that is really where it tapers out here. But what I'm hoping to see is we come up above this old school trend line that we've been fighting on Ethereum, which is a downward trend line. We prove it as support and are able to blast off from that moment. And I do think that we are knocking on the door of this. On the daily, if you look at the larger time frames, the daily is now trying to clip to the upside. This is what I'm just showing you on that last post. The daily is clipping to the upside. And I think that this is actually a time where Ethereum has the juice in the tank to actually make this breakout. And there is not much price action between our previous all-time highs and where we're at right now. Previous all-time high for Ethereum is right at about $4,800, and we are knocking on the door of heading back into those zones. I'm very, very excited, not just for Ethereum and Ethereum holders from seeing signals like this, but because of what flows into altcoins next. And you know what? For anyone that wasn't around last cycle, we complain about Bitcoin maxis because they're annoying sometimes or quite often. This is a great post from Coinbase Duck. If you think Bitcoin maxis are annoying, just wait for Ethereum maxis. That's what he wants to say. This is what Coinbase Duck is highlighting. It's going to get crazy. You're going to have crazy upside, in my opinion, come to the Ethereum chart. And there's going to be a lot of people, digital oil, and it's going to get nuts. Just don't get too worked up. Don't start chasing that $20,000 Ethereum price tag. I'd say really where we're positioned right now, I could see Ethereum hitting between $6,000 to $9,000. $9,000 being that hyper euphoric, really big blowout, which is a potential. I'm going to be taking profits along the way. Now, Ferrari apparently likes Ethereum. They're accepting payments for Ferrari in Ethereum in the US and Europe. So now, with all this regulatory clarity, this is kind of opening the door for a lot of different companies to actually start accepting crypto as payments for goods. And honestly, for me as a crypto investor, that's very exciting for me, not to sell Bitcoin, but Ethereum, altcoins. Come on now, bring it on down. Now, some ranges to watch out for on Ethereum, where we're at right now. We did reclaim that 3,900 range high. Ethereum confirmed a 4-hour gain, looks ready to go higher. If we dip back to the $3,700 mark, I do agree with this take. That could be a solid day trade setup targeting 4,100. So a solid confirmation long setup would be a fall down to $3,700, proving this midterm level as support before continuing up and creating a healthier and healthier ascension for Ethereum price now. So we're sitting right on that moment. And now we get the crazy price prediction articles here. Chainlink price could hit $88. Now, before we get into this, I want to get a vibe check from the chat. I'm going to put a poll in. I'm doing it from, can Chainlink hit $88? I want to know yes or no in 2025. That's what I want to know. That's what I want. Can Chainlink hit $88 in 2025? Because that would be breaking previous all-time highs. That would be essentially setting up something very, very large for the rest of the altcoin markets, in my opinion. Chainlink picking up traction, yada, 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 on bullish news. Javon Marks predicts that Link will move up to about $47 and ultimately land at $88.26. Very specific. Very, very specific. In the long term, he extrapolates this by Link breaking out of a long-term descending resistance trend line. A breakout is a significant structural change, which implies that bullish continuation can be expected. Another indicator of strengthening momentum has been the higher lows that Link has been able to sustain. Those have been something that's been really important for me to highlight through this latest downturn is, yes, you still have been building higher lows. It's okay. It's not all going to, hell in a handbasket. All these factors create a bullish thesis, providing Link is trading above reclaimed support areas. Prediction enhances general altcoin mood, yada, yada, yada. So the weekly chart on Link showing that we've broken that multi-month resistance zone. Let's just hop into Chainlink charts ourselves. Go check them out. It's been a while since I've felt like, I already have my fundamental bullish thesis on Chainlink being the kind of communicative project between this entire ecosystem being built out within Bitcoin and Ethereum, kind of like the roadway of information moving from one blockchain to the next and all the way back to Web 2. So this break, this moment, very, very important, $20.23. We were just there a few days ago. And, Chainlink, I want to look at it on a larger kind of money flow time frame. Let's go to weekly candles and let's actually check out how, because we obviously have higher lows being built upon us. These dual weekly green dots, very, very bullish. And green dots have signified a pretty big move for Chainlink, excluding this gut-wrenching, boring, everyone forgot about Chainlink zone, which if you were a buyer in this zone, huge shout out to you, because I was a buyer of this zone. I was a buyer. 589 for Chainlink. Let's go. Got it. 589 for Chainlink. $589 for Chainlink. That'd be something. So let's measure out kind of the performance that we've experienced from these green dots clipping off for the last 3 times here. This first one, about 203%. This guy right here ended up being a 70% move. And then our latest one actually looks better than the previous, 76%. So we've pumped pretty well off of this weekly green dot. Now, what we need to see is a building of support and potentially, you know what? If Ethereum can break those levels, 4,000 and run back up to $4,500, $4,800, that's where we start getting to fight this $30 resistance zone. Just some levels to keep in mind, but generally, Chainlink is one of the easier altcoins for me to hold long term, as it's got the most connections, the most things going for it of pretty much any other altcoin on the planet, other than Ethereum, which I still roughly consider an altcoin. So now let's hop into the rest of this stuff. And that guy's prediction, I don't horribly disagree with it. We may as well pull a fib. We're going to compare his prediction to a general fib of this market here. So let's give it a go. Bam. I want to check it out. See how it checks out, where it lands in the fib extension. Right about the top end of the 1.618. It's actually being pretty reasonable. Because what happens if Ethereum is able to pull off what it looks like it's going to be able to pull off, a resurgence. There we are. We're back over $4,000. Let's go, baby. And these market caps essentially, double / 2.5x for Ethereum. I could see Bitcoin going to 4 trillion, 4.5 trillion in this bull cycle. I could see Ethereum going to 800 billion. My basic range for Ethereum for quite some time has been 600 to 800 billion in this cycle. XRP absolutely can accomplish a 300 to 400 billion. And then we see the top 10. You see like 3x's, so maybe, and then it goes up to like 5x's on historic altcoin movements of market caps once the alt season actually begins. But these top 20 end up being the 5 to 10x's. And where Chainlink sits right now, we're at a $13 billion market cap. If we see, a simple 5x from that, I think that's actually well above his target, because a $100 billion market cap brings Chainlink over $100. I think it's like $125. So, the movement, the velocity of upside for altcoins is much, much stronger than the top 5, essentially. I will say that. And that's what a lot of people have forgotten. We are well outside of altcoin season still. How insane is this, that we are so far from alt season on this metric, yet Bitcoin dominance is actually pulling back? Let's see here. BTC.D. We're going through this because I saw this on our early trading morning sessions, and it's just got to be noted on this live here. Bitcoin dominance has not had a good week. Bitcoin has moved down in terms of its control over the entire crypto market very, very strongly. Not as strongly as a few weeks ago when we saw Ethereum really, really start to hit some stride. But you know what? If we fall to my expectation of a 50% Bitcoin dominance level, Chainlink $100 is fun. Chainlink $100 is fun. If we drop to a 50% dominance level on Bitcoin and hit an $8 trillion market cap, that means very, very ridiculous upside for altcoins that are in that top 15 and down. I mean, even in the top, like even top 10, top 10 have their moments. But this is where like the hyper speculation zone begins. And you know what? People have been speculating on XRP. They're having their day. They're having their day. XRP. It's due. Good job if you held from. I got some XRP that I bought. I forgot that I had a little bit of XRP left when I sold a bunch of it. I bought all of it at 17 cents. These are the XR people riding around on their boats. And it's all because of this joint dismissal of appeals that's been filed by the SEC and Ripple jointly, officially bringing the nearly 5-year legal saga to a close. They finally have gotten out of it. A little bit of dark cloud released from the general crypto market. And I think that this essential ending of SEC going after XRP, and in turn, one thing about this case that I do need to note is that if Gary Gensler's lawsuit, and it really wasn't even Gensler, I think it was Jay Clayton on his last day, put the lawsuit out against XRP. And then Gary Gensler took over and continued the lawsuit against XRP. It's been a dark cloud, not only over XRP, but really altcoins in general in the US and really abroad. I mean, other countries are looking at US regulatory, issuance, and investors are paying attention to that. So this is a good day for XRP. So good job. It's going to be fun. Like I could see XRP hitting that $400 billion market cap and doubling from where it is at right now, which is a better investment than a lot of things. A lot of things are not going to perform the way XRP will likely perform in what's coming up. Ethereum breaking out still. Jesus, we're going $4,020. $4,020. We are trying to move up on Ethereum right now. This is something crazy. Niels is kind of reading my mind here. Niels from the Netherlands. Link will have its ETH run, similar run to what Ethereum did in 2021. You know what? With what's setting up right now with regulatory clarity, Chainlink, in my opinion, the glue that communicates between Web 2 and Web 3, the glue even between Web 3 projects on data, moving from spot to spot. I think Chainlink is as intrinsically important as Ethereum when it comes to this market. You have smart contracts, which are the utilities, the things that people can build DeFi on. You have Bitcoin being the groundwork of which those smart contracts are built upon. And then you have Chainlink, which goes from one spot to the next. I think it's very, very important. God, things are just absolutely going ballistic. Aerodrome is at $1.02. Chainlink. Morpho. I think Morpho is actually a slept-on project as well. This is a project that is directly integrated by Coinbase. People take loans out on their Bitcoin and get stable coins while still holding their Bitcoin through that avenue. So things are, God, what a day. All right. Thanks for becoming a member. Deborah Archer, shout out to you. Thanks for becoming a member there. These are the days that you work hard, you do your research, and then finally you have that moment of crazy price action. And I was saying, I got to say this. I did find this crazy. Pump is buying Pump. Pump is buying Pump token. It looks like this from Arkham. Pump Fund just sent 5.6 million Solana, $5.6 million worth of Solana to a new address where they are buying back Pump. So far, they bought back $6.6 million of Pump tokens on this address specifically and sent 5.7 million of that to a squad's vault. So this is good to see. Good on them for actually supporting the project. And you know what? I'm seeing those damn trenches. They're waking back up. The trenches are waking back up. I can tell those Solana memers, and really memers across many different ecosystems, those knives are rattling, man. The meme coin communities, they're going to come back with a vengeance. I am a utility investor, but I got to acknowledge where I see smoke, there is likely fire. And there's probably a fire building up in the meme coin community. What you got, buddy? Could you tell me, buddy? I'm listening to my boy here real quick. Yes, I will tell you when I'm done. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, buddy. He's being super, like, trying to be super respectful. He's talking really slow. All right. So now another altcoin that's had my attention for quite some time is Kita. not telling you, came out with some information that I found very, very interesting. It was keto was being mentioned by the Nielsen report. This is a report that costs $2,395 a year. It's for top executives in multiple different industries. The report for global payment system industry is the report for global payments. And the fact that KETA was mentioned means some global payment giant is either potentially thinking about implementing or has implemented KETA. And some people are saying that it is Visa. Nielsen Report, a highly respected industry newsletter, provides detailed info, yada, yada, yada. It focuses on credit cards, debit cards, all those things primarily. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. These connections, maybe they're loosely founded, but KETA is a small enough market cap where even hot air will rise, if you will. Let's see if KETA is doing well off of this speculation. We're up 11% on the day, it looks like, 23 on the week, 60 on the month, 3,000 since inception. So this thing is one of my favorite words, uppity. Okay, it is looking very uppity, and it's got a $500 million market cap. There's a very, very movable market cap. It's number 210. It is starting to pop up in the RWA lore, and potentially, a company might give it a test pilot run, and it could have some upside there. Really, what I see on KETA is that it's a new shiny object in an exciting bull market. It's a small market cap, and you know what? If I never get a pullback and I never get a greedy entry point, I'm going to cheer on people from the sidelines, man. I don't have any KETA, but it's looking pretty darn good. And a lot of this Visa speculation coming from KETA is the only cryptocurrency listed on Visa's global registry of service providers. This doesn't mention XRP or Solana or ETH, just KETA. So this is where kind of a lot of that speculation is coming from. Some interesting things to potentially connect the dots on there. Also, shout out to Veteran Crypto. He runs the DeFi Crypto and Airdrops YouTube channel. He's reminding me, I do have PACA tokens. What's that? Come here close, buddy. I can't hear you. How many minutes? About 15. I'll give you 15. Yeah, he's being so kind. All right, PACA swap. They're rolling out a swap. PACA swap off Constellation. Constellation is an interesting, again, smaller market cap blockchain that I've always paid attention to. And, seeing this news, I want to make sure that Constellation's still been doing good. I've been monitoring it through the recent downturn, and it hasn't really been horribly affected from major downturn. But it did hit this 5-cent peak and is now price reset at 3.5 cents. DAG, looking at this structurally, the bounce off of previous ranges, very, very important. A lot of support built up in that moment, and a little bit of hesitation from the markets came in on DAG. But it is a project that has worked with some pretty key organizations, not really people. It's worked with the government. Already. It's one of the old school crypto projects that had federal involvement. And here you can go to their website. You can see, they've been working with the, I believe it's the Department of Defense, U.S. Air Force. Here's their letter of support from the U.S. Air Force. They work with some very, very interesting communications partners. And this is a project that focuses on secure data through, just direct to cyclic graphs. They are a different type of blockchain. And they have a focus on what I would hillbilly-wise call it scrambling pathways of information to keep them secure, but yet still concise. It scales up as needed, scales down as needed. It's an interesting design for data to flow to and from, and they're more kind of enterprise-focused. Constellation, wouldn't be surprised to see Constellation actually start to integrate in with large companies like Panasonic. Well, I guess Panasonic and their DPIN play, we're not there yet. I'm telling you right now, though, we're going to see a hardware company integrate DPIN. And I speculate that Constellation DAG is going to be one of the organizations chosen to do that. Aerodrome, missed your entry. It's on your grocery list. Sometimes that's the way it be. You know, we cover a lot of projects. And how do you think I feel as a content creator? I cover a lot of great projects. I don't want to get too spread thin with my investments. I want the ones that I'm holding to really hit, but I can see a lot of upside from many, many different things. God, Aerodrome can't be still pumping, can it? This is ridiculous. $1 what is going on over here? Isaac, we're going to be rich. 31%.
Oh my God, my bags. We're rich.
Oh my gosh. Well, absolutely. Wow. You know, and people don't understand what I'm telling you. Aerodrome has got the same juice as Uniswap did last cycle. They don't understand what that means. That
Go on the
means,
chart.
all right, let's go. You know what?
This is important.
This is important because it's got the same lore and even bigger integrations, bigger regulatory nods of use from Coinbase and its inside plays that it's had with the U.S. government. Now Coinbase is running free. They're releasing a DEX. Aerodrome's behind the DEX. Uniswap was the DEX the last cycle, man. This was the big thing last cycle. Uniswap accomplished a 23 or 21.5 billion dollar market cap. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say Aerodrome has the same lore, but we have to keep in mind there's more projects than I've ever seen. Like, there's millions of projects out there. There's probably tens of thousands of useful projects, or at least projects that aim to be useful.
Have some sort of utility, yeah.
Right. So it's a more spread out spread that we're trying to deal with in terms of expectation for market cap expansion. But what I'm looking at right now is a diminished expectation for Aerodrome right here, and its market cap currently sitting at 920 million, just about $1 billion market cap. I think a diminished expectation for Aerodrome would be that it accomplishes a $5 billion market cap, and a higher end expectation is really that we accomplish what Uniswap did last cycle, which would be that $20 billion mark for market cap. Now, this, in my opinion, is absolutely obtainable. And you know what? I'm going to be taking profits along the way if it should happen. But this is where the crazy part about being invested in things early, being obsessive. And, you know, people are like, man, I can't 100X, you know, that's just stuff that people do on X. That's not for me. You know what? You can change your life by applying your time to investigating into research, and you can find those things before they pop, and you can absolutely hit 100Xs. Absolutely. I've done it in the last cycle. I've even done well in this boring cycle. And now if Aerodrome should accomplish something like I'm talking about, this is where the craziness begins. You get a little bit of token inflation up to about 900 mil. And let's say, you know, you do accomplish what Uniswap was. That's $22.50 a piece, or 20X from even where it sits right now. Mid-ground expectations bring you to about $11.24 at an $11 billion market cap, and diminished expectations, low-hanging fruit, is $5.60. This is our time to shine. And you know what? If they think that Bitcoin maximalists are annoying, just wait until Drew, the base maximalist that's printed money off of base ecosystem plays, is going to be. I'm going to be horrible.
Yeah. It's
Horrible.
so funny.
Absolutely horrible. And it's all, you call it conspiracy theories, but when I see the US government making way for Coinbase by going after Binance, the biggest on the planet, making way for an American institution, Trump comes out talking about make America the crypto capital of the world. I take what they're saying seriously. The Treasury Secretary of the US is literally telling you that they are about to tokenize the Treasury market. The Wall Street circuit is getting ready for tokenization. They are doing this in the background. They're literally telling you what they're going to do. It's right in front of us. It's right in front of us. It's up to the people that can't get out of this disillusionment, that you just cannot get rid of that thought. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you're looking at. It's happening right before your eyes. It's happening right before your eyes. And days like today are real. And you know what? This is also real. This is what the U.S. economy is held up on. It's Sydney Sweeney ads. This is the literal U.S. economy. NVIDIA, Sydney Sweeney ads, and Tesla. That is what everything is hoisted up by. Auxiliary plays to crypto are going to be very powerful. Robinhood is up 4.4% today. more upside likely to come. And we see the loss of trust between nation states on a level we haven't seen since World War II, happening right now in the background. And yet still our chart goes up and to the right. Still, these altcoins with utility are going up and to the right. Still, millionaires are being made every single day in crypto. You have to have the conviction and the belief and the capability to get in. That is what I would say as we're about to enter this parabolic stage. And as we're knocking on the door of all-time highs for Ethereum, you get crypto at the price you deserve, right? And watching when we get out of these things is going to be very, very important. So make sure you stay tuned and click the link in our description for our Discord group, because that's where I'm going to be doing the middle of the night. Hey, I just sold this coin. Hey, I'm getting into this coin. That's where all that information is going. So make sure you're in that Discord. Now, Isaac, I want to ask you this.
Yep.
Do you think that Trump and Bibi actually had a fallout? Is Trump and the president of Israel actually, not really seeing eye to eye? These are the reports coming out here. Trump reportedly shouted at him. He shouted at Bibi over the Gaza hunger denial. What do you think about
surprise? This? No, not really. I mean, okay, check the ceasefire, for example. Prime example here, all right? Ceasefire lasted like an hour because Mr. Israel over here was like itching to press the button after Trump was like, no, don't do it. We're having a ceasefire. And they're like, screw you. We're going to send some missiles over to you. So I don't think they're seeing eye to eye. I don't think they're talking. They're mad at each other. They're like a couple right now that are arguing and bickering back and forth. But they'll make up eventually. And then everything will be all, yeah. That's all I got. I mean, they're just arguing couple.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen Trump like half and half on Bibi's bidding, but then also demanding control over Gaza. I remember when the Trump Plaza East conversation came out.
I missed that. I missed the conversation.
Well,
that was a good conversation.
It was an awkward moment when Trump was kind of, the ego went up. He was standing up, put his chest out. I was like, I'm going to take care of this. Right. Bibi was a little bit shocked by that, and on other political side, we got a AIPAC threatening to go after our representative here, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So there's that. We're not going to dig into that. I am going to highlight, I'm sorry for people that live in Canada. This is why we must Bitcoin so hard, people, because Canada looks pretty doomed. Canada's trade balance has completely collapsed since the Trump tariffs first took effect, and it hasn't recovered. Even the threat of tariffs wasn't enough to destroy Canadian. Even just the threat of it destroyed the Canadian economy. Here they are sitting at a negative $5.6 billion trade deficit. And on the other graph, this is their immigration chart. So I think Canada kind of looking a little bit cooked from a statistical standpoint here. Hopefully they can turn things around. Hopefully the people within that country can get the right leadership and get things sorted out. Now, Bitcoin trying to sort things out. It is back up to 116.5. Did not get that darn tootin' entry point. Ethereum looking very, very pumpy as well. This is a day to celebrate. The spot bags are printing. Trading helps me a lot, especially in ranges. I will say that expanding your tool chest in crypto into not just spot buying, but then DeFi, decentralized finance, or trading keeps you very, very active and on the up and up when things are boring. Like in this Ethereum range, you saw Josh had an absolute heyday on Ethereum, back and forth between these ranges. I like those weekly green dots and then just basically trade out of each trench. Now we're at that moment where I got to get some major confluence to be able to fire another one off. It feels weird firing off 40x longs at all-time highs, but I'm out here doing it. Did it yesterday, and it went really, really good. So, Drew, what are you talking about? What is Crypto Stevo in my DMs for? What does he got going on?
He's not in your DMs. He's just putting some hot fire on X right now.
Okay. Well, let's go to him.
He's telling me show him my Fire X post. Which one?
Oh, he's got some gems. He's got some gems. He's got some crypto gems he wants us to check out.
Not have gems.
Crypto Stevo, he's got some gems. Like I will say, Crypto Stevo, a Solana maxi you may be, You are
Fact.
quite intelligent, and you pulled some good lists together. Let's see what he's got here. I want to see what this is.
All right. Oh, we're pulling out my thing. Let me make this a little bigger for y'all. And my favorite thing is zoom in here so people can actually read.
Okay.
Bet.
You know what? Shots fired.
Altcoin season is very. No, I'm just saying. Like, I couldn't even read it. I'm sitting right here with glasses on my face. Altcoin season is very near. Yada, yada, yada. Doesn't matter. Let's get into the tokens. Super. Polis, Dio, Wild, Token. What else we got? Holy. Okay.
Shadow
I didn't
token.
even see this one. Shadow Token, Blue, Sui. Don't even know what that is.
Okay.
No, it's
okay.
literally right here. R Trade, RWA, Super Fire. Which one should we dive into? We have
right.
what? Another 4 or 5-ish minutes here.
Yeah. Well, gaming tokens. These are gaming tokens, right?
I believe so.
Let's see here. I want to see.
Not all of them, because he
a
kind of gives like
shadow.
a blue is a perp dex on Sui. Send is
Okay.
the Ave of Sui. No, this is Nasana Dpin GPU sharing project on Solana. FHE is working with Link to encrypt privatized currency coins. Yeah.
FHE looks really, really good. Let's kind of pick on Shadow Token. I want to see what Shadow Token is.
Let's look at Shadow, and then let's look at that AOX or the A0X project that we brought up the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Shadow Token first. Let's go here. I'll pull you down, pull me up. Let's go.
Whoops.
There we go. Shadow Token, down in the trenches. Is it going to rise from the ashes like a phoenix? Let's see here. Bad profile score. Volume's only down by 8%, though. Not a bad sign here. At a $17 million market cap, this is extremely high risk, high reward. It is low-hanging fruit on Coinbase, though, which is very helpful for a project of this size of market cap. Look at Solana ecosystem play. Let's go to the X, check out what they're about here. All right. First and only decentralized data storage network powered exclusively by mobile devices, scalable, secure, just blah, blah, blah. So it's a data securing. I really, why does it take me to Genesis? Is this the same project? Look at that. You saw, I just clicked the X button and it takes me to Genesis Go. Kind of looks a little bit different here. They might have done some rebranding. That's the first thing that's kind of going off in my mind. We'll go to the website here, Shadow Drive, storage without compromises. I mean, I just don't like going up against. I know that there's a potential that a project might be able to make it out and compete, but the storage, securing. I understand that you're going up against AWS. Is there upside for a chart like this in an environment we're entering into? Yes, I will say that. Don't know about like long-term implementation. Like I don't think I'll be securing my data on Shadow Network or Shadow's system anytime soon. But generally, you had an interesting roll up here. You had a very, very tight coiling of price at 11 cents. Or rather, right around 11 cents. An explosion, which a lot of the early investors in VC or just, early in people were able to sell on this re-upswing. Are you starting to curl back to the upside, though? Design-wise, slightly. I wish I had a better mapping because it looks like it's setting up a higher low scenario here, which means a little bit of pressure. Like your low here was 8.5 cents. Now your new low is about 10 cents. It's extremely high risk, high reward. Extremely high risk, high reward. You think Shadow's going to explode too? Jason Casper's chicken likes it. He's a pretty smart guy. And I do remember Filecoin did explode. Filecoin did explode. Let's go look at another one here. I saw one in the chat I want to see. Oh yeah, I want to compare Filecoin to this actually. Let's go look at Filecoin because Filecoin absolutely did have its moment and then has not ever since. So this is kind of like my worry about it is like you had this crazy moment and then really fall back. This is a great example of how insane altcoin seasons get for new shiny objects that are released at the right time in the right market. Look at this. Look at this. So even if you just caught the trend and you're like, all right, I'll hop on board here, you're up 1,300%
Jesus.
on Filecoin. Now, where it sits right now, God, do you just start? This is lower lows, so that's not great. When I see that, I see lower lows and it's going counter to even just signs of life like the rest of the market has, and instead we just go lower. I'm not liking the Filecoin graph, but a newer project that might try to do some insane movement like that could very well be Shadow Token. So interesting thing to think about there. An insane time is embarking right now, you guys. You really need to stay based, understand different levels of what would change your life, because coins like this Shadow Token or really deep alt picks. Another one is Mamo. Mamo. Oh yeah, we're pulling back today. I like that. I want to get some pullback on Mamo. Jesus. Structurally, it would make sense to just at this point pull back to about 15 cents. Which is basically where we're at right now. I do have Mamo in the portfolio, but I want to continue adding this DeFi AI agent that goes in and essentially does the DeFi activity for you. And I find that very useful, for me personally. Oh my God, I love this chat so much, Papa. Papa Poon is just unhinged, and I love it. I love it. Well, Isaac, it's a great day in
Sure.
crypto.
It is.
It's a dark green day, man. These are the days that really things start to pay off. Now it's time to pay attention to that Ethereum chart. Make sure that we still got the juice in the tank. On days like today, man, look at that field of green. Look at this field of green. This is just absolutely beautiful, unreal. Days like today, you know what? If you need some profits, take some profits, right? If you're down to clown with Ethereum breaking out of all-time highs and going into price exploration and then absolute bedlam and chaos taking place on these altcoin charts, then you stay the course. You hold the line, you get to the top, man. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there. Shout out to Crypto Steve-O, Jason Casper's Chicken, Slim Cheeses, Mark Meyer. This is where the basement lives these days, boys, and I'm loving it. Huge expansion.
And if you're not keeping your crypto on a cold storage wallet, please consider doing so with code DC20 and base20 for 20% off your order of your Oculus cold storage wallet. Drew, I'll let you finish it up here.
Oh, it's a perfect outro, man. Love and appreciate you guys. I'm going to go take care of the kiddos. And
you are banned!